world, this is JWP, J Ward Primo Beats, coming to you live from my bedroom. Check me out on YouTube at JWPTube, Twitch, JWP Stream, Facebook, JWP Meta, Patreon, JWP Patreon, and Discord. Link in description. I'll be looking at the ButterWorth band pass. I did look at the, shelf boost, band shelf, previous or in another video. And I looked at the high pass, low pass, and the low pass sort of failed. It had overloads. So I decided I would use I decided I would use the band shelf as a band pass by boosting it and cutting everything else sort of deal. And then it occurred to me, well, if I'm just going to be using, the band shelf, then why don't I just use the band pass? However, I have to determine if the band pass actually works, because I imagine it might still have overloads, as it's probably made from the low pass. So we'll find out. The band shelf sort of passed, give it about 50-50. I think it was just when you're kind of around zero, we get a little bit of overloads, which is a bit disappointing. However, generally shouldn't be around zero. The only reason I have zero there is to make the controls non-linear. Because if I boost it up 20, then the controls go all funny and I don't get exact values. So yeah, and I'm not a math magician where I can figure out proper formulas. I doubt there even is a formula that can repair that. So let's get the band passes in. And of course, they do not have an EQ, or was it rather a cut or boost. I suppose I can check here before moving on. I'm going to save this as band pass testing. Experiments. Go band pass. Then I do folder. And we'll throw that in there. And we'll rename this. It's almost ready to go. I don't know why mine think that it's not full screen. Let's take a look, see here before moving into the host. All right, that's what we got. Looks like it's always on, which is fine, I suppose. I don't have any noise, though. Where's my noise? Don't have any noise. Well then, let's get some noise. I must have saved after. Don't really need that. Must have saved after removing my noise. Of course, we'll just make things work faster here. I'm just going to pull those and already on. Don't really need any leveling. Go pink noise. And yeah, we should have some response now. There it is. Okay, so let's drop down to what I think it was 150. I started getting overloads. So now let's see. Yeah, overloads. This doesn't look like your standard overload, though. This looks like, it doesn't look like a latching or whatever. This doesn't look the same as the low pass. It looks like it overloads and stays overloaded. Drop this down a bit here. Oh, there we go. Wow. So yeah, it is apparently built from the low pass. Yeah, look at the ouch. I'm not even gonna load that in the DAW. For not curiosity's sake, but for completion's sake, I suppose I'll load it in the DAW. So let's get rid of this. And we'll go export VST, band pass testing, whatever. It's going to take a moment to, it's going to take a moment to look for it. Sometimes FL Studio looks fast, and then other times it looks slow. Of course, I forgot to rename the container. Well, it refreshed itself. So this might take a few minutes here. I'm going to jump back in here and double check the band shelf. Band pass testing. Let's go to band shelf testing. No. And okay. So we'll bring in the synth again. Perhaps I'll save it this time. Out. And cut this. Open here and save. Jump over here, still scanning. So this is kind of band shelf testing. Again, I guess the other video, it's band low pass and high pass testing. That's another thing too. I wouldn't mind looking at the high pass and see how it reacts above the Nyquist or the higher end. I doubt it'll overload though, because I haven't had any trouble with it overloading on the higher end. But then again, it's logarithmic. So what I'm seeing here, like up to 18,000, there's still, another 2,000 to go. So if I put it at, like 19,900 or 150, 950, then there's a good chance that it might be overloading. And I don't want a saw. I want a pink noise. I'm just going to go ahead and save that again. How's that file doing? Okay, finally reloaded. Can test this out. I got to load the test specimen. So let's turn this on and we'll see how the band shelf is handling things. Okay, so 150. And then with the range, we want to dip down below the low end. And then we want to change bands, right? See, it's like seamless. Whatever's going on in the band shelf is much better response. I mean, I'm not sure the shelf is the same size. However, the response is so much safer. No overloads. So the concept here is to boost the band shelf. We'll finish up here before I move back to that. The concept here is to boost the band shelf and cut everything else, so to speak. And I'll cut up to about 24 bits because this can actually just be a number. I'll cut up to 24 bits because I know everything internally will work 32-bit, but the idea of, like I think 32 bits, like 300 decibels, 24-bit depth. Been here before. Audio, digital audio. Okay, 144 decibels. Okay, so here's the chart here. 32-bit, we have 190, so almost 200 decibels. 64-bit goes up to 400 decibels, which is interesting. I mean, you'd be able to, I don't know what you'd be able to do. Maybe hear bacteria crawling around. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. Cut this, cut that, and go there. Then that will adjust it. Out and out. So actually we need to plug this in, right? So this is inverted. Is that what I want? Right? So when it goes up, it's going down on this side. And it'll compensate for it. Which seems to be working. Yeah. Of course, and the opposite is true. Look at overloading, eh? But it seems safe, though. I mean, the main factor, I mean, moving around and stuff, you kind of might expect an overload because you're boosting, right? You're messing with the signal, and it's your own fault if you're turning it up loud and like, oh no, But this is the real problem here is, switching poles, and you're getting an overload on the low end. And I'm not talking like minor overloads. I'm talking system freezing. Like the dB meters have totally just been destroyed, sort of overloads. Honestly, probably not safe for speakers, not safe for ears, and I do not want to release a product that, save file first, sure. Don't want to release a product that has that, so let's demonstrate the bandpass overloads here. And volume is off, which is good. Bandpass testing. Okay. Looks like we're already there. So that's the bandpass, right? And just switching, and we get like major overloads. I mean, it's just for that section. But I mean, if the width is wider, then we get like major overloads where like even moving slowly. But who's going to really move that slowly when you're developing, right? You're going to want to do that. You're going to flip fast, and you're just going to overload, and your decibel meters are gone. There's no more RMS marker. There is a hotkey to, bring them back or whatever, but I don't know. Plus, if you have a subwoofer, you're just going to explode your room, which is not fun. All right, let's bring in the band shelf, and hopefully we'll have, reduced overloads. So now I have it set up so wherever it is, it's cutting in reverse or whatever. So let's check it. Oh yeah, because it's white noise, right? Oh, is it even on? Looks like it's on. No, I think there's something wrong internally. Something wrong there. I did it wrong. Head back to SynthEdit, band shelf testing. It's actually where I want to be. And it doesn't have an output because I'm so smart, right? And I do believe the synth is still running. That's supposed to be running. The synth is not running. Okay, let's do that again. Is it running? Okay. Let's bring this back in, and we'll take a look. See, it's already. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's not adjusted for the frequency responder. Okay. Seems safe to me. Like, that's a fast slide. The only problem I'm seeing, though, is like when you're adjusting this, right? Yeah, we got a bit of an overload there when we're moving fast. However, that's not really a problem because... Ouch. This is a static band, right? This is going to be a band pass. I don't know where it went. I always could see it a little bit there. Okay, so we're kind of getting a little bit of overloads, which is quite disappointing. It's only when it's boosted, though. It's when anything moves, it looks like it just overloads. Specifically when it passes 0 too. Oh, that's an expected overload because I went to 0. Let's see if we can refresh things here. Why is it way up there? Anyway. So my range that I'm looking at, and as I said, it's going to be static. My range is 25 to 30, which is thump. It's 25 to 30. What's the middle value there? 28? Yeah, didn't like that. Wow. Imagine that going through a subwoofer. Apparently there's these chairs that just have like hammers in them so it can represent, super low frequencies. My monitor still hasn't come up to me. I don't know. Apparently I'm running. Okay, I'm running. But yeah, there's these couches with hammers in them. So like when you're watching movies and stuff, say you have like a frequency that's like down to 15 or 20 or things below that, frequencies that speakers don't normally represent. Yeah, no, the couch will just start fucking hammering like 15. Insanity. The things people like, right? Okay, so this is what I'm looking for here. This is the range. I wish I could limit them now. Oh, wow. It's still overloading. So I guess it's back to state variable filters and fighting with resonance. Let's try a little bit less, like 90. Maybe it's because the decibel or the bit depth can't handle it, but it's supposed to be in 32-bit internal processing, right? So it's a width of 28. It's not touching down there. Really disappointing. And there's no way to make, for instance, a low pass out of high pass, as far as I know. As far as I know, I mean, we can look at it. Because the high pass is stable, as far as I know. I was actually going to look at that as well. And shelf, let's go get rid of this and that. Well, yeah. Let's actually use the other one because it's pretty much prepped. We'll go bandpass testing. Okay, so I just want to replace it with a high pass. Replace, I forgot to grab the name here. We'll go find and replace, drop that there. Filters, high pass. Find next, replace. Okay. Again, I'll be able to tell right away inside SynthEdit. And I want to look at the upper end, the higher end of the Nyquist. Man, that's disappointing. I really thought I was going to get away with it, but no overloads. I might even just go third party, but I looked at the third party and there's not a lot of options. Like there's no ButterWorth third party, as far as I know. And I could build my own. That'd take years. As I am not too keen on C++. I mean, I did build this converter, however, that was straightforward. It was one input, one output. But I guess if I, use some open source filters, a ButterWorth filter, which I kind of already know where the code is. Okay, I'm looking for high pass, right? High pass. It's the low pass that's buggered. Replace. Okay. So I guess I could just save that. Take a look-see. Nothing. Thought this was on. What's going on here? Oops. I mean, it doesn't matter what pitch is. It's just noise. Okay. Right then. So what happens when we are way up here? It's fine. Right? It's totally fine. Even moving fast, it doesn't never overload. I think what's half of 4410, right? 100 by 2 is 22050. Okay, so we're still not quite there. 22050. Let's see if we get overloads at this point. Yeah, we do. Interesting. We can pull it back about 50. But nobody ever really works up there. I mean, limiting it to, 20,000 is fine. Actually, let's go 22, 20, 21, 900, 950. Okay, missing zeros. Want that. Yeah, we're still getting overload. So there's something about the slope reacting beyond the Nyquist. I don't know if the bottom end is still considered Nyquist. I know that Nyquist is the name of the, scientist that discovered. I don't know. But Nyquist usually represents the top value. Because there's no such thing as a negative Hert. As far as I know. That would be like a gravity absorber sort of thing. I don't know. Would be rated in negative Hertz. So even though, but if I didn't, I was thinking even though if I could manage to do a, phase inversion against, do a phase inversion against the high pass, I'm not sure it would still overload. I can imagine it wouldn't. And shelf testing. Is it this one? Filter tests? Filter test? No. Because I was doing a phase inversion. Oh, there it is. Okay. I was doing state variable. The only filter that I know of that you can phase invert against is the linear phase, because it doesn't affect the phase, right? It doesn't affect the waveform. Whereas minimal phase does affect the waveform, making phase inversion or phase cancellation impossible. Let's go high pass. We'll take a look, see. I can't remember what these represent. It looks like divide by 2. Okay, so that's moving pitch. Let's just plug some things in and see what we get. What even are these? Frequency analyzer. Okay, we got a noise generator that has to come through here. Where's this going? It's going nowhere. So this is just a control. So it's just sitting there. Like so. And perhaps I should have analyzed what I was looking at. Evidently what I want, I'll just delete some stuff here. So I have a noise generator and I have 5 frequency analyzers. So what I want to do, so I'll just cut these out for now. And high pass. Okay. And we got noise coming in one, going out the other. And if I invert either signal, let's say a modifier, we'll start with this signal. Against that, we still have no sort of response. See, it's just kind of, I'm pretty sure it's a notching somewhere. That's the only type of response it gives. See if I say inverted against itself. It's confusing. Yeah, if I did this, it would show what's happening. It's not gaining though, so there's probably a notch right there. Let's pitch here. Yeah, it's just a notch. Am I doing something wrong? Because this whole top half should be gone, right? But all I'm getting is a notch. I mean, I can phase invert it against itself, but that doesn't make any sense. So it's just nothing now. If I add that, same thing. It's just, what if, which is unlikely, I drop this down to say 20 and then invert it. No. So still got a notch right there. Still doesn't help. No. I'm thinking, hoping I get away with, changing a waveform in a certain way. Just stuck with state variable, I guess. All pass doesn't do anything. Just another state variable sort of thing. I don't even know what a pass band is. And I can't use the sync filters because they create latency. And that's it, that's all. So, bandpass failed, and so did band shelf. Let's look at band reject. Well, actually, that won't matter. I'm just going to call it there. Check me out on YouTube at JWP Tube, Twitch, JWP Stream, Facebook, JWP Meta, Patreon, JWP Patreon, and Discord, link in description. Thanks for watching.